The Republic of Virtue, my novel about Americans during the French Revolution, is set in the summer of 1793. It's a pivotal time. French revolutionaries had executed King Louis XVI in February, sparking war with the First Coalition. In France, civil war rages. In Paris, the sans-culottes have turned out in the streets in late May. The Girondins, a more moderate faction, have been removed from power, and the Jacobins are in the ascendancy. Maximilien Robespierre, Georges Danton, and Jean-Paul Marat are the powers of the day. A small but fascinating group of Americans happened to be in Paris that summer. The American ambassador, Gouverneur Morris, was no supporter of the revolution. Most of the Americans in Paris came for commercial reasons, like the merchant James Swan. Joel Barlow, a poet and real estate agent, sympathized with revolutionary goals and became a delegate to the National Assembly. The most famous American in Paris was Thomas Paine, the controversial journalist, author of The Rights of Man, and a target of British cartoonists. Associated with the Girondins, Paine found himself persona non grata in the summer of 1793. Imprisoned, he was not released until 1794. Then there was the shady American land speculator Gilbert Imlay. There are no portraits of Imlay to be found. He lived with the English feminist author Mary Wollstonecraft, leaving her after she bore him a daughter, Fanny. Wollstonecraft, a strong defender of the French Revolution, wrote a vindication of the rights of women. She died in 1797 after giving birth to her daughter, Mary Godwin Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein. That summer featured a shocking act of violence by a young woman named Charlotte Corday. Corday, a supporter of the Girondins, stabbed Jean-Paul Marat to death in his bathtub. The Jacobins saw her as a reactionary murderer. Jacques-Louis David painted this famous portrait of Marat as martyr. Corday's trial and execution find their way into the Republic of Virtue. The Jacobins were convinced that agents sent by the government of William Pitt, the young Prime Minister of Britain, had provoked counter-revolutionary activity. In fact, the British had an active espionage operation headed by William Huskisson, who had been secretary to the British ambassador to France. A target was France's great fleet in Toulon. British agents convinced royalists in the French Navy to change sides, and Toulon fell to Admiral Hood in August 1793. The British couldn't hold the port, however, and a young corporal of artillery, Napoleon Bonaparte, made a name for himself when the French retook Toulon. The Reign of Terror darkened the fall of 1793. The Queen was guillotined. The Girondins met the same fate. And then the revolution began devouring its own. Danton and his supporters in the spring of 1794. That summer, Robespierre. As Gouverneur Morris had once predicted, the revolution ended with a dictator, Napoleon, not a republic of virtue.